Call me old man Wade.
Damn you, old man!
Wait.
Old ass man.
Shut up, old man. You smell like fart.
No! Man!
Old man.
He's so old, he got a podcast on cassette.
Fuck, you're old.
Damn it, Wade.
I got a question for you.
Yep.
How soon is too soon to fuck after your breakup? Call me old man Wade.
Damn you, old man!
Wait.
Old ass man.
Shut up, old man. You smell like fart.
No! Man!
Old man.
He's so old, he got a podcast on cassette.
Fuck, you're old.
Damn it, Wade.
Okay, so
what's the question? So
how soon is too soon to fuck after a breakup? So
fuck who? Like the person that you just broke up with?
no, just new strange.
New strange. Yeah. The way. Yeah. Oh man. So okay. So new strange.
New strange.
The way that you put it so eloquently.
Eloquently, yeah. That's what I do.
Yo, man. Honestly, right away. Good shit. You broke up.
So, how would you feel? Now, do you feel the same way if it was your ex and you found out she fucked somebody like that night or the next day?
Honestly, it depends on why we broke up.
What if it was?
If she broke up with me, saying something like, I'm just not ready for a relationship right now. And I don't want to be with anybody. It's not you, it's me. Right? Like making you feel like maybe she's going through some stuff, and not that we'll get back together, but she's breaking up because, she's just not ready to be with anybody. And then she ends up in a relationship like right after, I'd feel a type of way.
No, not a relationship. What if they just fuck?
Fucking bro. Like, if you're in a monogamous relationship, you should just fuck whoever you're with. But other than that, I think, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'd feel a type of way at this point in my life.
So
when I was younger, probably.
I would still feel a certain way. So me and Valkyrie were talking about that. I was listening to an older episode of a podcast that I won't mention because they have enough listeners. And they were talking about revenge sex.
Is it the Revenge Sex podcast?
No.
Oh.
So it probably is a podcast called Revenge Sex. So they were talking about like, how do you feel like if your girl how would you feel if your ex was like sucking someone's dick like the next day? And I would feel some sort of way. Would I be mad? Absolutely. I shouldn't say mad. I would feel some sort of way. The emotions might be different, but how I react to it is up to me. Me and Vanda were talking about that one day coming back from breakfast about how like you can't control your emotions, but you can control how you react to said emotion. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so if that was me, I'd be like, oh, like, no, they did. Like, you know what I mean? But I'd feel some sort of way, like I just said, but I'd probably do the same thing. No, actually, no. I think I waited when me and Valkyrie did our break on again, off again for a little bit. I think I waited a couple weeks before I started fucking again.
Was that intentional? Or was it like...
I just wasn't ready.
You wasn't ready?
I just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. I was still heartbroken. I was still wanted my girl back, and then it just didn't work out that way because I was just not in a place to accept the fact that I needed to take care of myself. So
I was going to judge you, and that was going to be very toxic of me. But honestly, to show my growth as a man, I want to say that I commend your knowledge of what you're willing to do or not do.
Oh, I was sending her like love letters and.
Oh, you was just.
Oh, I wanted my woman back. We're married and stuff now. Like, I don't give a shit. It's always funny when someone goes, "Never date your ex." I'm like, I'm married to my ex. You know what I mean? Like, miss me with that.
Who said that?
That's a thing. They always say, they tell me never go back to your ex. Like, that's a thing that people say, and I'm like, I'm married to my ex, and I'm in a loving and happy relationship.
Yeah.
Do we still argue? Absolutely. Do we get over it? Absolutely.
I swear people just make shit up.
They do.
Like, it doesn't even make sense. Don't don't get back with your ex. Like, what? Why? Because it didn't work out with you?
Because they always go, oh, you broke up for a reason. I'm like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, the reason...
Yeah, you did, and those reasons change over time.
Exactly that. That's exactly my point. It's like, I think
we solved it.
Yeah. But that also brings up another point that's not on...
I don't know what we solved. We solved something.
That brings me up to another topic that I tweeted out yesterday, listening to people when they go, oh, you just don't get it. This person is such a free thinker. I'm like, look, just because someone's a free thinker doesn't mean what they're saying is smart, makes sense, or will help you. Thinking outside the box doesn't make you like any much better or on a higher level than someone else.
That's another thing I don't understand what that means. Usually when I hear free think, like when people tell me they're a free thinker, it's usually like right after or right before they tell me that the world is flat. Or like
or they tell you slavery was a choice.
Slavery was a choice. or like listen, you know the Democrats were for slavery.
For the love of God.
Right? Like those like, oh, really? Thank you for that lesson in basic history. What does that have to do with anything right now at this point in time? Like, but I'm a free thinker. They put Lucky Charms in the COVID vaccine to give the black people diabetes.
You know, oh God, I have a good one.
Free think.
My mother said, so I'm not, I was gonna say I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but anyone who's listening to the show knows that's an absolute lie. So my mother said something to me, and I'm a conspiracy theorist within reason. And within stupidity, like I believe in the Loch Ness Monster, I believe in mermaids, I believe in all that wild shit. Yeah. I think JFK was murdered. I think JFK
was murdered.
Was murdered. I think JFK's murder was
by mermaids. Job.
Was it? Anyway, well, according to American Horror Story, it was aliens.
It was aliens.
But oh yeah. So my mother has a theory. In all her glory, she says that Kool-Aid was designed to make people stupid.
Kool-Aid?
Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid was designed to make people stupid.
She said Kool-Aid, she truly believes that
Free think. Mom edition.
She really thinks that Kool-Aid makes people stupid. Part of me is like, I can kind of see it. But then again, they promote Kool-Aid with a bunch of white people in the commercials.
Kool-Aid makes people look like us.
What, bald and fat? Yeah, so...
Yeah. I mean, but to make people... I don't get it, man. Like, so what's the craziest free thinking thing that you've ever heard?
Slavery was a choice.
Yeah.
The world is flat.
Yeah.
Space doesn't exist. That was my favorite. I actually thought that one up myself. I was drunk as hell walking home and looked up in the sky and I said, hey, what if space doesn't exist?
Here's the problem.
Dinosaurs not being real because God didn't create them.
I thought about this, bro. We have overhyped the ability of the individual to always make the best choice. And I know this is kind of like the beginning of every like evil villain's speech about their plan.
Oh, dude, you're totally a supervillain. You know that, right?
People are ants.
An ant has no quarrel with a boot. Dude,
but come on. Yo, listen.
Dude, we are destined to be... If this was the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we would be arch enemies. You know that, right?
Eventually.
It'd be me and you'd be...
We'd be best friends and we live in the same apartment till, like, my dad invents a super soldier serum and becomes the Green Goblin. The Black Goblin.
The Black Goblin.
And then somehow mad at you for something and then I get scarred and I become the mini Goblin.
The Afro-American Goblin.
The
woke Goblin. Yo, woke Goblin would be the greatest.
The non-socially offensive Goblin.
Okay? Yeah, no, I'm just picturing woke Goblin with you and like the kente cloth.
You know, if Norman Osborn was black, he would be called the Black Goblin, right?
Yes. I'm surprised it's not called. I'm surprised it's not called Black. I'm surprised Luke Cage isn't called Black Power.
Yo, okay. So, anyways, right. So, back to the matter at hand. Like, I think we've given people too much credit for shit.
I agree.
Because like it goes like we have a habit of making fun of like millennials and younger about like participation trophies and shit like that.
Yeah.
But essentially, as an American, you're born with a participation trophy. Like you're born with the assumption that you have the right that your opinion needs to be respected, no matter what. But no, you're fucking wrong. Okay.
Okay, a few things. Well, actually, two things that come from two different comedians. One, Chris Rock has a good quote when he goes, "A true American is somebody who comes from another country, fights to get here, goes through the whole process, and becomes an American citizen." He goes, "Those are the real Americans." Shout out to my homegirl.
And then vote for Trump. That's what.
And then she goes, and then Chris Rock goes, "You're not special because you came out of a pussy in Ohio." Respect him.
We need to normalize telling people that their opinions suck.
Yeah, I agree.
And then people need to normalize just taking it in, understanding that there's certain subjects. Listen, the crazy part about it is that most people that tell me they're free thinkers as well, like, slept through science class. Like, never, in high school, like, never, like, wrote a research paper, right? Like, never did anything.
No,
like, just,
you could have stopped at never research.
Never, but yo.
No, legitimately just because, was it scientific method? There's steps to finding it. And what's the last step in scientific method?
I don't know. You put me on the spot.
And
science doesn't care about your opinions, bro. You're wrong or you're right.
The ones that get me are the people who just spout like shit that's just not true. Like they're killing babies and that's how they're making the COVID. Shut up. Stop it right now. Stop it right now.
Yeah.
They're killing babies and they're doing it. No,
I use one example just to get off of COVID, right? Like, and this is an example that kind of bothered me for a while. It's the debate about critical race theory, right? And this is related to what we're talking about people kind of like stepping on their own messages, right? So I'm sitting here on Facebook and I'm hearing people talk about critical race theory. I'm like, oh shit, people are really talking about critical race theory on Facebook. What are they talking about? And then the issue was like, oh, either we need to not teach critical race theory in schools or we should teach critical race theory in schools, right? When nobody's trying to teach critical race theories in school, period, right? People in politics decided that the term critical race theory will get voters agitated or excited enough to go out and vote. But what ended up happening, it created a debate about something that's not even happening. And both people on the friggin' side, both sides, don't know what they're talking about this, right? And it's not because they're stupid. It's because they didn't go to law school. They didn't study political science.
Let's just call it something different. Just change the name. Right. Rebrand the shit.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say. Critical race theory is a thing. Critical race theory is a way of looking at the way laws are created, right, in this country, period. And that you teach people at higher level college courses, master courses, law school. It's not something that you're teaching to high school students and grade school students.
I get that.
It doesn't need to be rebranded.
But my point being is, change the name, rebrand that shit, and people will fucking go for it. Call it like critical Jesus theory, and the Republicans will go for it.
Yeah, but it's
make it have nothing to do with Jesus at all.
But it's not even something they need to even think about. I'm so angry that this is even part of the debate. Like,
hey,
people
you brought it up.
No, I'm saying, but that's the example I'm talking about. Like, people don't know what critical race theory is, but they're talking about it, and it's creating this debate that's affecting elections, which in turn is affecting things that we need to happen in this country. Like, we're sliding towards, whatever we're sliding towards to, and these made up debates are just making the problem worse, bro.
Oh, I'll be dead by then, so I only got another 21 years left in this earth, and I'm done. I've had enough.
Well, you're optimistic.
Huh?
You're optimistic.
I want to be dead by 60.
You're crazy, bro.
60 is a great number. I'm cool. I don't want to end up being that one fucking person in the hospital with fucking dementia. They got to fucking strap down because he can't get his shit together.
You're crazy.
So, what are your thoughts on Bill Cosby? Segway King!
Why are we talking about Bill Cosby?
Bill Cosby. What are your thoughts on Bill Cosby?
The pudding man?
I'm no pudding man.
You think the pudding pop industry is angry that they associated themselves with Bill Cosby? You think the pudding pop business has like...
Considering it looks like a big dick. So... I don't know who this dude is. His name is W. Kamau Bell.
W. Kamau Bell. He's I think he used to have a show on CNN. He's kind of like this comedian.
CNN.
Huh? Still on CNN?
Still on CNN. He is a comedian. Thank you.
Yeah.
So he posted this December 9th, so this is pretty old. And he says, quote, "So here goes. For the past 3 years, I've been working on a project that wasn't so much a secret as it was not something many people want to engage with. Today, that project was announced, and it will premiere at the Sundance Film Festival on January 22nd, 2022. The name of it is We Need to Talk About Cosby. It's a 4-part docuseries for Showtime. As the title implies, it is about everything we knew and loved about Bill Cosby and everything we have come to know. This is not true crime. It is not a did he do it. It is also not just a biography. This is about how we This series based on what I am known to do, having good, surprising, challenging conversations that I hope will make the world a better place. I talked to a lot of people for this. I talked to people like myself who grew up admiring him and laughing at his comedy. People who aspire to be good because of his example. I talked to a few people who know him and work with him, and I talked to several survivors. And let me I had to switch page. And let me be clear. I believe them even more so after talking to them. During the hard times of putting this together, and you can imagine that all this stuff was difficult. It was a difficult project. I often thought of them and how they trusted me with their stories. And no, I did not talk to him. He has his own platform to speak from. I like that he didn't do that. I only wish that I could share these stories now. Just drop it like a Beyonce album, because I know even this post will start a conversation that will be better answered by the series, but it premieres at blah 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 blah. So I didn't watch Surviving R. Kelly because, like I said, I thought it was nasty, and I honestly, there's just certain things I just don't want to watch. This I'm kind of interested in, and to your point, it's telling two sides of the story of people who admired him, but also know that he ended up becoming a giant piece of shit.
He was always a giant piece of shit.
He was, and it's funny when people found out. They say, did you know Bill Cosby doing it? I'm like, yeah, he's been doing that shit since the 90s. I'm like, when people found out about this, I'm like, how did y'all not know about this?
It's been nasty.
Yeah, this was maybe I don't know if it was just a hood, a black thing, where we knew Bill Cosby was always kind of a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Well, he used to talk down to us.
Yeah, there was that too.
You know.
I get him saying oh, pull your pants up and blah blah blah, but it's not what you say. It's also how you say it. You know what I mean? Like you said, he's talking down to people. Don't talk down to me, dude. No. So what are you gonna watch it? Did you watch Surviving R. Kelly? Any reason why? Or the same reasons?
Okay. I don't need to. No, I'm 100%. R. Kelly could just disappear. R. Kelly and Bill Cosby can just. I don't care about their face. I'm not really out here trying to out here celebrating people being in prison for the rest of their lives or people getting out like Cosby, whatever.
If you are a rapist, they should put you under the jail. The only thing they should just feed you goop and then put a little hole where your urethra and your ass is so you can shit and piss.
Listen, I'm not
I can forgive a murderer. I can forgive a thief. I will never forgive a rapist.
I'm not gonna cry about that either. I'm not. I'm just not gonna put them in my head. I think we need a society where a man in power can't exploit that power and create victims for as long as these two guys did, other people.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that they're the poster children of this, them and Weinstein, but. I think it speaks to wider issues, and I don't think these documentaries are really. I don't get anything out of it, to be honest with you.
Do you think they help or hurt the idea of shedding light to the things that actually do happen?
It depends, man. It depends. I don't. It can be done. It could be done proper. It could be done in a way that's effective, or it could be done in a way that's not.
So it really all depends on who's controlling the documentary.
It depends on the narrative around it. But it ain't. It's not something that speaks to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not even.
Yeah. I might watch this just because I'm curious to know how well it's actually done.
Yeah.
If I never saw that man again, the fact that he was dancing after he got got out of jail on a technicality.
Yeah.
It was fucking disgusting.
I mean, he's happy. You know, whatever.
Fuck him.
You know, he knows what he did.
Bitch ass nigga. And again, for someone talking down to people, like you doing some of the most disgusting things you ever heard in your life.
But that's another thing too. Like, you know, old black dude, old men in general. Like, the stuff that he did, the stuff that he did was horrible. But I remember watching movies like Revenge of the Nerds
yeah.
and all this other stuff that we used to watch, Police Academy and all these other shows that had, like, it made his, like, giving a woman a Quaalude and taking advantage of her, like, seemed like something that was not very frowned upon back then. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was a lot of men who didn't do that, but it wasn't like society was, like, really taking you to task for doing it. You know what I mean? So
that's also true.
You just,
yeah.
we nasty people, bro.
What can
You nasty.
You nasty, boy. You nasty.
And then R. Kelly, bro.
Fuck him.
We all knew what was going on in the hood. We ain't do nothing.
Him.
A lot of us defended him for a long time.
There's still people defending him.
Yeah, but
They blame like what were those fast ass teenagers? I'm like, no. They're like, this is a grown ass man that should have been like, no.
But that's one thing. Like, the Me Too movement didn't blow up because people did documentaries. The Me Too movement blew up because
regular people telling their stories.
People telling not just telling their stories, just being honest about it. And just being like, people were really emboldened to talk to tell the authorities about what happened and shame these people, right? Like, their own voices. It wasn't like some well-produced documentary. You know what I'm saying? It was just, so I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And if I do, I always say I'm gonna watch a documentary, and I never do. Because again, I'm not watching the Woody Allen one. I don't give a shit about that either. He's a nasty old man. Fuck him too.
No, that's just gross. I mean, the thing is, yeah, that's just nasty. Like, what he did, like, even if the illegal stuff they claimed that he did wasn't true, the fact that, like, he married his, like stepdaughter,
or something like that, yeah.
like that's just nasty, bro.
Yeah, I did watch Dope Sick, and Dope Sick was really good, but that wasn't a documentary per se. It was a dramatization of the opioid epidemic, those things that happened. I did learn some stuff from that though, but I'll save that for when me and Val can redo it because we actually watched the show.
I could watch Dope Sick.
Dope Sick was.
I just drive to certain neighborhoods in Boston.
Methadone mile.
Yo, they cleaned that up.
Yeah,
I was there the other day.
That's another conversation for another time. All right, this has been the Old Man Wade Show. I want to thank the Superior Super Bowl Cop for doing this. This is only actually we're about to record another one, so like literally as soon as I finish this one, we're gonna do another one. Let me just say you can find us on the Old Man Wade Show Facebook page. You can find us on oldmanwade.com. What's up? You're gonna make a soundbite for that?
Nah, I want to see if I can make it flinch.
So I'm gonna you can find us on the Culture Comic Book News podcast, sponsored by Black Rabbit.
BlackRabbit.com.
BlackRabbit. And if you don't know how to spell oldmanwade.com, OLDMANWADE.com.
That's how you spell that?
I think so. All right, man. Thank you for listening. Until next time, be good to each other. Peace.
Damn it, Wade!